We got a little Mr. Al Horford is expected to come back and play. Expected to come back and play. This is coming from Jared Weiss of The Athletic. Al Horford confirms he will play. Cheers to that. A little sip. What does this mean? They're getting their vet back. I also think they have a window right now, legitimately. Boston Celtics are really good. They're going to be hard to unseat. My dad's a Boston Celtics fan. Luke, the Legal Eagle, who we haven't had on in a while, is a big Boston Celtics fan, and I lived in Maryland, so I knew about a bunch of Boston Celtics fans. So for me, this is a team that they get their vet, the 38-year-old who just turned 38. He came off a season, he played 26 minutes a night, gave you about 8 points, 51% from the field, 41%. And I do think similar minutes next year, maybe closer to 20. I still think he'll be efficient. Regardless, they're going to have to bring in some depth to help alleviate those minutes and to not put too much of an over-reliance on Kristaps Porzingis, who's also, going to be coming off of surgery. So, and I do believe Neemias Queta, who is still under contract for next year, is going to be someone that going to replace the Luke Kornet's a free agent, and they're not going to bring back Luke Kornet is the expectation. So I think they pick up the team option on Neemias, but they're going to have to bring somebody back. Hopefully Xavier comes back, but I still don't think that's enough. But Al Horford coming back, it's going to be his 18th season. He says he's coming back, and I think this is probably last year, unless he signs an extension, and I'd be shocked if he signs an extension and plays more than another year, but I think he does one more year. You win a championship. Let's see if we can run it back. It's something deserving. And I think when you look at the free agency market, when it comes to who's available, specifically front court players, either centers or guys who can play small ball five to help Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford, and again, Neemias, because I do think Neemias this year, he didn't play, I want to say, he played 10 minutes a night and only appeared in 11 minutes a night, 28 games he appeared in most of his career, and he got converted at the end. But Luke Kornet this past season played specifically, I think he played a bunch more games, but he played also 15 minutes a night, 63 games, and I think that's Luke's also 28, so I think they'll go for a cheaper option and a younger guy. So who could that be? I mean, Jalen Smith could be a guy that they could like. Maybe they try for a Precious Achiuwa, or maybe they go for a veteran like Dario Saric. I think Goga Bits a day. Because the thing is first off, Jalen Smith's going to be is a mobile big man who can play the 4 or the 5. He can hit threes, protect the paint, and play with energy. He's really good in a microwave role. Dario Saric is another guy, small ball center, can play the 4 or the 5, can even play the 3. And I think he's too slow now, but he moves the ball, makes winning plays. A little bit of you're going to suffer defensively though with him. Precious Achiuwa is just an energy big man who's extremely athletic and just finishes around the rim, but he's a pest on defense, so in a good way. And he'll shoot the threes, but he's not great at it. Then you got like Goga Bitsadeh, who's a bruising big, sets screens, will go for rebounds, fights on the glass, and he might not block a ton of shots, but he'll contest things. Drew Eubanks is another guy, or bringing back a Daniel Tice, I think could be very interesting. Same thing with like a Mason Plumlee. But at that point, wouldn't you just go and bring back Xavier Tillman? And those are your pure bigs, I think, the ones that are, you could say, are like that are available. I think then if you're looking at the rest of guys who could be available in terms of power forwards who could also moonlight as a small ball big, it gets a little bit dicier. I mean, if Kevin Love was, I don't think he's be a guy that'd go after either way. And yeah, I think those are their best options. I mean, unless Anthony Gill's a guy who is a power forward with some shooting ability and ball handling skills, but he at that point he's such a bottom of the bench guy. No offense, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, and the same thing going on there. It's just you're really picking at scraps at that point. And there's the Dre Crowders, but like that's not what you really want. Kenrick Williams, if you could trade for him. So I think the center options I listed there are the ones you would have to try to see if you can help pair And like Drew Eubanks isn't going to set the world on fire, but I think Goga Bitsadeh, I think, would be a really good option for them to help give some size. If Jonas Valanciunas is cheap, I think he's good. I really like the idea of a Jalen Smith, a Precious Achua, or a Goga Bitsadeh if they were to go get a big to be behind Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford and help Neemias Queta with some of those minutes. As I think they shouldn't be putting too much pressure on any of the bigs, and maybe go by during the regular season by this big center by committee approach, as I think that might be more suited for how they want to play this offseason. But I think that's definitely, take it how you may. I don't know. I'm curious. What is your guys' thoughts? I think one of the things that we're looking at when we look at this situation is just making sure that they can. I think the most important part for the Boston Celtics is making sure their front court stays intact or is still able, because I think their thing that they've struggled at any time is size. And this year they addressed it. They had size available all year, and I just think they need to keep their size available all year, if that makes sense. Now let's move on.